Hi guys, this is Faizan and welcome to today's session on Introduction to Android Studio. Now before I start, can you guys quickly confirm in the chat if I'm audible or not? Is everything okay? Can you see the slide deck? Just quickly give me a confirmation if you can hear me properly. Just write a yes in the chat. I'm monitoring continuously your chat, so you can anything if there is anything you want or you want to ask me, you can write it in the chat, okay? Just quickly confirm in the chat, and in the meanwhile, while you're doing so, let me give you a quick tour of how our academy looks like. So just go into Google Chrome and type in Great Learning Academy and it will redirect you to this page. Okay, click on that and it will redirect you to this page. Now here, if you can see, let me first show you the courses which are absolutely free. So if you're looking for something which is related to IT and software, right? So you can see we have courses available on that as well. So we have courses on data structures, algorithms in Java. We have Java programming. All these courses are in English. Now if you're looking explicitly in Hindi, we have courses available in Hindi as well. We have Python programming in Hindi, C++, React, Java, AWS. All of these courses are in Hindi. And if you're looking for any other domain, data science, machine learning, we have courses available on them as well. Okay, so these are all the courses which are absolutely free, and you also get a completion certificate once the session is over. Okay, once you have completed the course, you have to answer 10 questions, and out of those 10 questions, if you answer 6 correctly, you will get a completion certificate, which will look like something like, if I click on this AWS domain, and once you register yourself, you enroll for the course, and these are the things that will be covered in this. And once you are done with this and you have answered the quiz, this is the certificate of completion, which will look like this. Okay, so and you can easily add these things in your resumes and in your LinkedIn profiles. So are you watching? Yes, Saurabh, yes, I am watching. Okay, I am watching your comments. Okay, in which you put in the chat. Okay, so all right, so this is how it looks. Okay, now what else? So this is about the popular courses, and if you're looking for all the live sessions that we have, right, like this one, like I'm taking. Okay, so you can also have those listed up here. Okay, just a minute. Yeah, so these are all the free courses and these are the upcoming live sessions. So today I'm taking on Android Studio, tomorrow Ram is taking on Splunk. Okay, and if you can view all the live sessions that are going, that have already that we already did. You can view it in by clicking on this tab. Okay, cool. And if you're looking to change your career, if you're looking for a career path, or you want to change into something, a newer domain like data scientist or digital marketing or software developer, so you just click on this and it will redirect. It will also, it is showing that the average salary you will be getting is this. Okay, so this is also there. And plus, if you're looking for our career plus prepare, we are preparing. If you're like you are preparing in your you are in your fourth year semester, right, fourth year, and you want to let's suppose you are looking for a job and you want to learn something new technologies or anything, like let's suppose you want something related to operating system or networking. So all of those things you need to check what is the requirement you have, and you can just go through and join for free. Okay, just click on register your email and all those things. Okay, cool. Now with that being done, let's not waste any further time. Let's get started with our session. So today we are going to talk about Android Studio, and this is Android Studio as in the IDE. What are the things that you should know, and how to get started, how to get through the installation process. All of those things will be covered. Okay. Okay. So yes, Ashin, you will get the certificate as well. Okay, so now what are the things that we are going to cover? We first will talk about why Android Studio, the overview of Android Studio. Then we will talk about the installation process and why do we need JDK. So the language that we'll be using, or the focus here is on Java. So how we will install all those things. Okay. Then we will talk about the sample project that will be created. Then we will do a walkthrough of the IDE. Then we will talk about the project structure, how it looks like, and then user interface, and then finally virtual device. Okay, how you will create an emulator and how you will create a lookalike of your just like your phone. Okay, so now let's see the overview. So if you see this how this IDE came into existence, if you have any idea regarding the IntelliJ IDE, right, which we use for Java, so it is actually it is somewhat it is somewhat what you can say that it is related to that. Okay, so basically let's first talk about what is an Android is an open source and it's a Linux based operating system, just like you have Mac OS, Windows OS. It is similar to that. It's an open source Linux based operating system for mobile devices. Okay, and if you're like smartphones and tablets, okay, Android developers create these programs using a free Android software development kit that is known as SDK. We'll talk about that as well. Okay, so if you talk about this Android Studio, it is an official integrated development environment for Google's Android operating system, and it was built upon that JetBrains IntelliJ IDE software. Okay, and why should you use these things, right? It was built upon the Android for building Android apps. If you're looking to create Android apps and you want to create them efficiently, right? So this is the most efficient tool that is out there, and with this you can easily create your applications without or you can say with less errors. Okay, and this webinar course, okay, yeah, live session, you won't be getting any certificates. Okay guys. Okay, so what is this? This is a flexible Gradle based system. Now we will talk about the Gradle in the coming slides. So for now, it can think of it as a thing which will help, or which is there. The Gradle is there, which is basically used for compiling your programs. Okay, and it is much more flexible. You don't have to compile it; it is done automatically. Okay, and what about the emulator? So emulator will be a look alike like your phone. Let's suppose this is your phone. How your application, that whatever your application is, whatever you are trying to create, let's put a simple applications of adding two numbers, whatever you are trying to create, you can create that with the help of this emulator. Okay, and finally you can see the real time review. That is, if you want to see, let's suppose this is your code and this is your application, you can see both of this. If you're making any changes here, you can see that in your application the changes will be done, so you can see the real time review is possible. And when you are let's suppose when you are done with this application and you want to create an apk file, and then you are trying to run this file, or when you go and launch this application, then you can see that okay, whatever was this you saw in your review is the same, it is working in the same fashion. Okay, so the real time thing is there. Okay, so that so you will be there are no what you say there's not as many errors as you're getting. Okay, so you will be having a completely what you say much more effective process there without much errors. Okay, so now this is all about the overview. Now let's talk about the installation process. Okay, so first thing, that since we are using Java as our app for our what you can say the backend tool, wherein with which you can create your front end, which we will talk about. So in the backend you can have two languages, Java and Kotlin. So since Kotlin is not that much you won't be getting individually for Kotlin, you won't be getting that many jobs. Okay, sir, Android app material UI, please teach us. Okay, sure James, sure. A live session for Visual Studio, yes, as an ID, Raj. Okay, uh, okay, cool. Anything you want to ask me, you just write it in the chat. If I'm not able to answer it, just write it again. Okay, cool. So Kotlin is another language, since there are not a lot of job opportunities on Kotlin or regarding this language. So you can be on the safe side and learn Java and use that Java in your Android application or creating your Android apps. Okay, so for that you need a JDK. So what is a JDK? So it is a Java development toolkit. So let me show you how you will go through this. Okay, so if you go into your Google Chrome, just type in what JDK, or you can say Java JDK. That's it. Okay, so now once you click on this is the first link that you have. Click on this. Now you see this is the first link, right? I have given you the link which I have shared with you is this link, right? So you don't have to go through this process, you can directly go here, or and once you click on this is the newest version, SE16, right? So you just click on this JDK and download it. Okay, so this is the link that I have shared with you in my in the slide deck that I'm using. Okay, so you don't have to worry about the steps that we followed so far. Okay, so now this is the you can just scroll down and check in for the system. Obviously, now if you're using a Mac, then what is this? If you're using a Linux, then what to do? Okay, since I'm using a 64-bit operating system, so Windows 64-bit. So since I will click on it, and I will download this 64-bit exe file, and once I will just click on it, I have reviewed it and start downloading it. It might ask you to create an account, so you just go ahead and create it with how do you just write in your name and all those things. So once it is downloaded, so you are done with the downloading process. Okay, now let's go back. Now the second thing is, you need, what is this JDK? Since this is used to run your applications. Okay, so earlier downloads, what used to happen, JDK and JRE used, we need to download both of these, but now these are bundled together in this JDK, so you don't have to worry about this. Okay, so this is all, this comes with the newer version. So, okay, so you can check whatever is the file, whatever is the path, so you can check it. Okay, so now what after that? So once it is downloaded, you click on it and that's it. Okay, so the next thing is setting up your environment variables. Okay, so this is very important, guys. So how do you set your environment variables? So basically, why do you set it first? The thing is, so basically, if you want to run your application, or if you want to run if you're running it with there, or if you want to run any Java program and you don't want to specify the path every time, so for that you specify, you change these environment variables, and you just have to paste in the bin value. Like how you do that? So just go into your desktop and go into your folder wherein you have downloaded, so it will be downloaded in your C drive. So just look in for the C drive, go into the program files. Okay, and look for Java. Okay, here you have it, Java, and you see JDK and JRE. Since I am using a version which is not version 16, I am using version 1.8. Okay, so that is why I have these two folders. Okay, JDK and JRE. But if you download the newer version, okay, so you don't have to do this stuff. Okay, so you just have to click on this JDK and pick this path. Okay, so go into the bin. Now once you are in the bin, just click on here and copy this address. Okay, what is the address? The absolute address. Okay, now this is important. Okay, this is used for changing your this environment variable. So you will write environment here, environment, and you see edit system environment variables. Just click on it, and then what you will do, you will go on to the environment variables tab, and here you see you have this path, right? You just click on it and just type in edit. Now if you see, I have already pasted my path here, right? So in your case it won't be there, so you just have to click in here, over here, just type in new, just paste it. That's it. So you are setting up your environment variables, and then just click on OK, and then done. Okay, so once you are done, this is how you set your. So now why is it important? Because you want to run your applications, your Java applications, from any drive. You don't have to specify the absolute path every time wherever your folder is located. Okay, so for that, and plus if you want to set the class path as well for running big applications, wherein all the libraries that are there which are necessary to run, you can set them as well. You can set the path variable as well. Okay, so this is all about JDK. So now once you have system path. Okay, yes, bin folder and then paste it. Okay, Saurabh. So now once you have downloaded this JDK and you have set it your path, then the next step is the Android Studio. The link is shared with you, so you have to click on it, and I will show you the further process. But before that, the earlier downloads, what used to happen, this Android SDK which I talked about earlier, right? So this was, you need to download these things separately. But with Android Studio into picture, right, which we are talking about, you don't have to care about these two things. It is bundled again, and all the necessary things that you require are in this Android Studio. Now let's go ahead and see how it is done. Okay, so just go into Google Chrome, and yeah, so just type in Android Studio. That's it. Okay, now click on this first link, right? Click on this. Just a minute. Okay, cool. So now you see over here the download option, right, for Windows. Okay, so just click on this download button over here and just say that you agree by the whatever other license that they want you to agree. Just click on I read it and I agreed and start downloading it. Okay, so now before you download it, I have already downloaded it, so I won't go through this pain again because it will take some time. Okay, mm, let me just pause it. Okay, and in fact let me just cancel it. Now there is one more thing that I want you to guys to understand. Now since it is downloading, the next step is to check these system whatever is your system requirement. So if you're using a Windows, so this is the system requirement that you have to deal with. Okay, okay, is there any question? No. Okay, cool. You guys keep asking your question. If you want me to repeat anything, I will. Okay, so don't worry about anything. Okay, so this is about the system requirements about Windows, this is about Mac, this is about Linux, and this is it. Okay, so for Windows you need to have a 64-bit operating system, and then obviously you need a RAM that is of 8 GB, and the minimum screen resolution of this thing. Okay, cool. So once we are done with this thing, okay, so now let's see the process. So the first step is once it is downloaded. Now I haven't shown you the process because it will take some time, so I have shared the slide decks with you with each and every step that is there. Okay, do we have steps for Mac OS? Yes, Neha, yes. In this session it will not in this session the steps, but in this session we are dealing with Windows. Okay, so whatever are the steps in Windows, you can follow along. It won't be I will show you. This is again, this is such a thing like you have to just type in next and done. If anything is there, that will be covered. Okay, about the stand, do you want to change the theme or not, you just try to mimic the same thing. Okay, so now the first step is the installation. Okay, if we have a system of RAM 6 or 4 GB, does Android work? No, it is in terms of MBs. This Android is around 1000, around 1200 MBs. Fine. So you need a good RAM. Okay. Is it essential to download JDK file or Android Studio is in it? So it is, because since if you're not using Java as in your backend, so you can go with Kotlin, so you don't have to download this JDK. If you're using Java in your backend, so JDK is very important, guys. Okay, so you need to, because obviously you will be writing Java code, and for that in order to run those applications whatever is written, so JDK is required. I have older version of JDK. Well, yeah, it will work, lovely, it will work, but it is better to be on the safe side and use the newer versions, because with newer versions maybe something as with Android as well, so use the newer version. Okay, it was maybe 6 days ago Android 4.2 came, right? So again you keep on with much more features which are earlier, right? Like memory management is there, so a lot of things were there in this version that came 6 days ago. Okay, so the first step, let's talk about the first step. So once you have downloaded it, so this is the wizard that you will be getting, so you just click on the next button that is over here. Okay, so it is nothing but it says the welcome to the Android Studio setup, and the steps will be whatever is the guide, or whatever is the steps you need to follow will be after this step. Okay, so just click on the next. Then the next step is that it is asking you to choose the components. Okay, if you want the virtual device, if you want the Android device, so just click on both of these, right? And it also checks the components you want to install and uncheck the components you don't want to install. Okay, so click on both these, so Android Studio as well as the Android virtual device. For since you some of you might not be obviously now here I will be using something which is known as emulate, so that I can show you what is happening. So if you don't want that virtual device, so it's better to use that virtual device. Okay, rather than connecting your phone and running your applications. Okay, it will give you a better way. Okay, and so it will also help you to see how your application will look like. Okay, yes, update new JDK. Okay, cool. Minimum you should have 8 GB. Yes, minimum 8 GB RAM. Okay. Okay, now this is the second step. Just click on the next button, and then the third step is the location. If you want to change, but I don't think you need to change. You can have this Android Studio downloaded in program files, Android, and then in that Android Studio. Okay, so this is the third step. Okay, so this is the location where your Android Studio will be downloaded. If you want to change it, but I don't think you should not change it, you should keep it as it is. But if if someone wants to change it and keep it in D drive, so you change it. Okay, just then click on next. Okay, for 32-bit operating system is this process. Yeah, it will be some it is no, I can say that it will be there will be not be huge change. Okay, it will be, or everything will be related. Okay, even if you are using a Mac, even if you are using a Windows 32-bit operating system, it will be the same. It's just that for reference, for your reference, so that obviously you will be you need to store. If you're using a Mac, you need to store somewhere, so the location will be there. If you are using a 32-bit operating system, again you need to have, you are storing it somewhere, right? So it doesn't make any sense that this process will change, the steps will change. Okay, it will, you just have to follow along. Okay, cool. So now this is where it will be located. Okay, and then the third step is that it will ask you to check whether this is the select the start menu in which you would like to create the program shortcuts. You can enter the name where you want to create. So I want to create all of these shortcuts in this Android Studio, so I am clicking on that. So it is a default option, so just that after that click on install. Okay, this is the step 4, guys. Okay, so since I have already downloaded it, and I want you guys to, once the session is over, to have some kind of a reference for you, so that you can easily download it even after the session is over. Okay, is there any another language available for Android? Yes, Kaushik, you can either go for Java, or you can go for Kotlin, and you can also go for C++. Okay. Okay, click on install. Now it will start installing. This is the process of installation, and it will download, it will install everything which is required. Okay, in this session I am going sort of in this session I am using Java. Okay, I will be using that's why I downloaded JDK, and I know most of you will be familiar with Java, so that is why we chose Java as our language. Okay, is it clear, guys? So any confusion? Yes, Kotlin too. Yes, yes, yes. Sir, I have i3 processor in my system. Android will work on my system. Yes, yes, Pratik. Yes. Okay. Any more questions, guys? So, guys, keep asking questions. Okay. You don't have to be you don't have to be shy about anything, even if it is a simple question. So you need to keep asking these things. Okay. So okay. Okay, cool. So now once it will take time. Now this process of installation, this thing will take almost 10 to 15, 7 to 10 minutes. Okay, depending upon your processing speed. Okay, so once this is done, the next step is that you will get this completion, whatever is the, you have completed the Android setup, and then click on this button and you are done. So click on this checkbox so that it will start directly. Okay, and then click on finish. Okay, now is this are these the steps of installation? Are you done with the installation? No. What happens if you are installing it for the first time, and which I believe that most of you will be installing it for the first time? So once this is done, once this second last step of this thing is done, once you click on finish, the next step is that you need to if you're installing it for the first time, it will be asking you what is this message. You will be getting this message. Okay, if you're using it for the first time. So this is nothing but it asks you to use the previous configuration. If you have downloaded it earlier, or if you have installed it earlier, do you want that previous configurations to be installed, or do you want to import them or not? So for most of you, it will not be downloaded, or it will not be installed. So for them it is, do not import any settings. And even if you're importing, even if you're installing it again, just try to remove all the previous configurations and all the previous application, remove it. Okay, and then install it again. Okay, with the newer version obviously. So click on OK. Now then the next step, this is the step 1 you will be getting in between, and the step 2 that you will be getting is that the data sharing policy. Okay, so it will ask you, allow Google to collect your anonymous usage data for Android Studio, and it is related to tools such as all these things, right? So just click on don't send. Okay, if you don't want, if you want, you can click on this, but for now you can just click on don't send. Okay, so these are the 2 steps that are in between. Okay, sir, I'm using AMD to you, and with 12 GB RAM, can I use it? Yes, 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 you can use it. Okay, okay. Sir, Android Studio is useful for developing. Pulkesh is asking, sir, Android Studio is useful for developing both Android iOS apps also. Yes, 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 yes. Android Studio is one of the most easiest tool. Now it will obviously, now with more practice on this tool, you will be able to see how easy it is to detect errors. It will have some auto completion. It will also do auto correction. It will also say that okay, this thing whatever you are trying to do is not correct. So all of those things will be there in this Android Studio, and it will give you a real time what you say, a real-time view of how your app looks like at each and every step. If you're doing this, then check, then test, then check. Okay, so don't worry about installation process, guys. If you have any questions, once the session is uploaded, you will have the session as well. Once this session is over, it will be on our YouTube channel and if you haven't subscribed to our channel, make sure you subscribe to our channel and you can see it again and again. Okay, and even if you don't understand in that way, the slide deck that I'm using will be shared with you guys, so you can use this thing as well. JDK expansion. So Nikita says, can we use Android Studio for mobile app development? Yes, you can. Okay, JDK expansion. JDK expansion means Narmata. Okay, so JDK expansion, Java Development Toolkit. It helps you to run your application. Basically, Java Development Tool JDK is nothing but your JRE, the runtime environment, which helps you to run your applications or any program. So it contains JRE plus some development tools like what you say, your Java C commands, your Java commands, which are used to run and compile your programs. Okay, is it clear? So JDK is nothing but what you can say that it is JRE, that is the runtime environment, plus your development tools. Okay, and internally what JRE is, JRE contains JVM, which is a virtual machine. Basically, it does not exist in reality. It is just a virtual thing which is there, which helps us to run our applications. Basically, that is what makes Java platform independent. Okay, so it converts it into bytecode, and that bytecode can be run anywhere. Okay, so JDK is compulsory for Android Studio. If you're using Java in your backend, then yes. If you're using Kotlin, then no. Okay, yes, 7 C's. Okay, okay, cool. So now this is the in between the steps that you will be getting. So just click on okay, do not import on, and in this step 2, click on don't send. Okay, done. So then this is the welcome screen that you will be getting. Okay, now once that whole thing is done, right, you are done with that thing. Okay, Pulkesh says, sir, is Android Studio using same MVC framework as we can create Java application? Not same, but interoperable. Okay, sir, what is the minimum requirement for Android Studio? I already told you, Asin. Okay, I already told you that these are the system requirements. Okay, so just go into your this download and downloads to Android Studio, and you see the for Windows, for Mac, and for Linux, these are the system configuration that you have, system requirements that you need to have. Okay, okay, depending upon if you're using a Windows or if you're using a Mac or if you're using a Linux. Okay, okay, done. So XML uses user interfacing. Okay, yes, Pratik, yes, XML is used. Okay, cool. So XML is nothing but your what you say, your HTML, but in HTML you have those predefined tags. In XML you define those tags yourself. Okay, there is no such thing as predefined. Okay, cool. So this is the welcome screen that you will be getting, and you just click on next. This will happen in every system, right? If it is a Windows, if it's a Mac, if it's a Linux, it will happen in every. Okay, so what happened till now? So we only saw the overview why you should use Android, and then we talked about the installation process. We are done halfway, and now this is what happens after that. Okay, so next thing is the installation type. Okay, so just like in it asks you to use the, if you're going to use for your setup, do you want to use the standard? That is the standard, and it is recommended for all the users. Okay, the standard installation type, or you want a custom, wherein you will get to choose your own components. Do you want to use this component? Do you also use that component? Do you want to use emulator? So for now, since you don't know those components, you can't be picky about them, right? So you just go on with the standard, and it is recommended for all the users for now. But if you later on, because all of these will have this let's suppose if some file is 100 MB or let's suppose 1 GB file is there, and you are not using it in your application. So at that time, when you know the requirements, what you want, so at that time you can be picky and choose your own components. Okay, for now let's use the standard. Okay, click on next. Then is the select theme. So obviously now most of you are picky in choosing a theme, right? So you can either go for Darkula or you can go for light. So obviously I will be using this Darkula theme, so in this session. Okay, cool. Okay. So what else do we have? What happened till now? What happened till now? Chitender, already I told you what happened. Is there any programming knowledge for Android Studio to develop applications? Yeah, not really, just the basics of Java. Okay, which you can get. Okay, easy. So except XML, can we use Photoshop for UI design, and how to link and configure? That is the next step, Lovely. That is not, maybe in the future session, maybe I will try to cover those things as well. Okay, so what is the minimum requirement of Android Studio? Already explained. RS already explained. I whatever when you click, just type in download Android Studio. In that you will get, just scroll down, and in that you will get all the requirements. If you're using a Mac, if you're using a Windows, if you're using a Linux. Okay, so can we start developing React Native projects in Android Studio? You need to try that. Okay, you need to look into it. I haven't tried it. Okay, Jiten. Okay, cool. So now this is the theme that you will be using. Just obviously it was dependent on you if you want to use the Darkula or if you want to use the light. So click on one of them. Just click on one of them and just click on next. Okay, done with the selecting. Now verifying your different settings. Now you might be thinking, okay sir, we didn't choose any setting, we didn't choose any components, but when we clicked on this thing, right, this thing, in this step wherein we declared installation type, at that time I choose the standard, so there will be some components will be that will be there. And obviously it is you might be thinking, okay so this is pointless, why we are checking if we don't know. But if you're going for this the custom one, right, and therein you want to check, okay, is this component installed, is this component installed, you verify all those settings. Once that is done, and so we what are you gonna it is all about Android Studio, guys. Android Studio. There will be obviously we have already sessions on how to create applications, and since we were getting a lot of requests like, regarding how to use this Android Studio, what are the steps involved in it, how to install it, how to set up your components, so all of those things will be covered. Okay, and how to use emulator, and what are the obviously now basically an IDE walkthrough. Okay, Rajat. Okay, cool. So you will be verifying your different settings, whatever you have choose, or in this case, these are obviously these are recommended for all the users, and we haven't been picky while choosing them. Do we get a certificate? No, not for this live session. Okay. Okay, click on next, verify your settings, click on next, and then you start downloading all your components. Now it depends, right? Obviously now you can be picky while you are downloading your components or selecting your components, or it will be done as it is, right? The standard follow, whatever is required to run your basic applications. Okay, cool. So once this is done, once so why I'm using this again, I'm emphasizing on this thing that it will take around if you are going through the process, it will take around 40 to 60 minutes to get through the whole process. Okay, so since I want to cover a lot of things, a lot of other things, so that is why I have used these things for your reference. Okay, cool. So once all of these components are downloaded, you will get this installation completed message that your installation, whatever you did, is completed. Okay, so this is the last thing that you will be getting. Okay, so this is for version 4.0. So yeah, for in your case, right now we are dealing with what we have this version that was 6 days ago, that came out, version 4.2. Okay, so you can click on it and start downloading, and okay, done. Okay, so we are done with this thing. Now is there any question until this point? Because now we were dealing with the sample project. Okay, how to create the sample project. And obviously I will be using the ID. You will get an icon like this one. Let me just show you. So you'll be getting an icon. Let me just click on it. You see, it will take a lot of time even to open up, because this is a this file is very in terms of MB, in terms of size, it is huge. Okay, around 1200 MB. Okay, so let me just click on it. Just you will get an icon, you will get a shortcut or on the desktop. Just click on it. Okay. Okay, so make a video on Python basics to advanced. Sure, sure, Saurabh. Python is already there on our YouTube channel, Saurabh. Can Android apps are made with Python? I haven't tried it. I don't think so. Not in Python. So we have features of Java, C++, Kotlin. Yeah, maybe you can. I don't know for sure. Okay. So I completely C language this month. How do I Okay, sure, sure, sure. You just cover these things, basics first, and then whatever we will be soon releasing a video that will include everything about Android Studio. Okay, including some applications as well. Okay, so don't worry. Okay. Yes, sir. Already did. Hello, hello. Okay, okay. Clicking on. Okay. Yes, okay. So now the first thing that you will be getting once you will click on that thing is this tip, right? So it will be always there. It will get some use the camel humps names filter, right? So it is just saying that you try to use the camel casing or the naming convention. Okay, just close it. Okay. So now let me just click on the new project over here. Click on new project. I will be explaining this whole thing. Okay, whatever is on the background. Okay, so once you click on the new project, okay, that I showed you in the slide deck, right? Let me just show you again. So once you will click on this thing, right, start a new Android Studio project. Okay, so you just click on it. So you can either start a new project, you can open up, you can get it from the version control, that is from the git. You can debug your apk file, you can import something else which has been already done, or you can import your Android code sample. Okay, so all of these options are there. We just click on this thing that we have just started, and we'll create a new project. Okay, so now this is our sample project. So this is the image that I was talking about, right? So this is the same image that I am right now talking about. So now this is the project template. Now you might be thinking, okay, so what are these templates, what are these? So this is something that is already defined. So now if you have created some websites, now you might have used somewhere sometime those templates which are already there, and then you start editing them, right? When you create when in your maybe in your bachelor's, you might have created something and you might be using some templates. Why are those templates important, and how are they useful? Obviously that you don't have to create them from everything from the scratch. Something is already there and it will give you some kind of a base wherein you can just start your application. So these are those things. So you have the basic activity, you have this thing obviously in your WhatsApp, if you remember, you have something like that. You have empty activity, you have Google Maps activity. Obviously now when you're using that application Zomato, right, in that you have to pinpoint your location, right? So that thing is also predefined. You might have seen this thing in your WhatsApp again, the navigation drawer activity, right? And just clicking on some in your applications, you want, if it says that change this setting, change that setting, you might be getting this setting activity, right? Okay, so these are all the activities that you have. For now we can choose a blank activity or empty activity. Okay, so click on next, and obviously you have these are all the things for phone and tablet. You have for Wear OS for TVs. Now right now we have those Android TVs are coming out as well, automotive Android things. So these are all the other things you can create of. Okay, so for now we try to keep it simple. Okay, so can I use C and C++ for developing? Yes, 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 Pratik. Okay, just click on this empty activity, click on next. Okay, now this is it. This is where you configure your project. So it will ask you for your name of your application, right? So you can create anything. You can write, so let's suppose you write this demo application. You're creating this demo application. Okay, and then the package name, obviously you can change it, or you can change the location as well. And then language. Now here you can select either Kotlin or Java. Okay, so here you have only two options, right? And depending upon the activity, the template that you're choosing, it will show you the options. Okay, so you can, for in our case we will be using Java. And then is the minimum SDK. If you can see it clearly, that it shows, it says that your app, whatever your app is, it can run approximately on 99.2% of devices. That means almost almost you're covering every device. Okay, so you can select any of these. KitKat is 98.1, Lollipop is 94.1, so Marshmallow 89. So as soon we are going into these API 14, 15 and 16, so this the percentage is also increasing. Okay, so this is Jelly Bean is 99.8, okay, which is almost it. So if you want to use some legacy support libraries, or if you want to add some more libraries, you can click on this checkbox. For now we will keep it as it is. Okay, so then there is this step, and then you just finish it. Okay, and it will just load your project. Okay, so let's go back in our slides. So we talked about this, how to set up the Android Studio overview. Then we talked about how you can configure your project. Okay, this thing is done. Okay, see here 99.2%. Okay, so just click on finish, and then we'll have our ID. And now let's do a walkthrough of this particular picture. Okay, what are the components, what are different components, and what does these things do. Okay, so you have the same thing. Okay, let's first talk about these things. Let's first talk about the project structure. Okay, so project structure is this thing, right? So you have over here in your corner, you have Android. So similarly, you can have Android app modules over here, you can have library modules over here, you can have Android app engine modules. So you have different modules there. Okay, so for now we will be dealing with Android module, and in that Android module, whenever you have this application over here, and in this you have particularly, you see there's a drop down. So you have particularly this manifest file, you have this Java file, you have this res, and then you have this Gradle script. This is obviously for using for compiling your program, so you don't have to compile it again and again. It is, everything is done here. For now you can keep it as simple as that. Okay, so everything that is related to compiling things and all those things, this Gradle scripts are going to help us. Okay, and then let's talk about these particular 3 folders, and this is very important, guys. This is the most important, these are 3 most important folders in our application. Okay, so now let's talk about those in our this thing. Okay, so now if you see here, the Android is selected. Similarly, you can select these different packages. These are not that important, so basically it deals with Google libraries, Google app engine modules, and library modules. So in this you have app folder and Gradle script. Gradle script, it deals with what? It deals with all the compilation process. Now let's talk about these 3 different folders. So if you click on this XML file, right? So here you see this is the code that is written over here. So this is your, we will not talk about these codes as such. So we will talk about these XML files. So this XML file, what does this do? Can anyone tell me? Sir, I want to know, like now Android 12 is ready to be released, and if I'm developing application in Android 12, is my application in the older versions? Yeah, that is something that is really no, that you say backwards compatible. So obviously now if most of these applications are compatible. Okay, so it will, obviously it will run. Okay, so the answer to your question is yes, it will run. So most of the applications, they are backwards compatible. So even if your version is changing, let's suppose you have right now 4.2, the version, the Android Studio or the application that you're using is Android 12, and it will it run on 14? Yes, with minor changes it will run, it will support all of those things. But obviously it will not support the new things, but the previous whatever you did will be supported. Okay, okay, cool. So can anyone tell me what is this Android manifest file? What does it do? Anyone? Any guesses? Anything? So basically your manifest file contains what? The Android manifest.xml file. So this file contains all the things that are related. Okay, so I will not go into that much depth, but yeah, let me just cover those things now. Okay, okay, we don't have anything. Okay, cool. So let me just see your chat, guys. Okay, okay, designing your layouts. Yes, you can say that. You can say that, designing your layouts. Okay, cool. So this contains your XML file basically, and then you have the most important folder is your Java application, right? So in this you have this Android test, Android this thing. So in this example.myApplication, which was the package name that you gave earlier, right? This is contains first fragment, main activity, click on it, main activity, then this is your main activity. This is your file, that is your backend file, this main activity.java. Okay, now what about the front end file? That will be present in this res file in the drawable. You have those launchers, that images that you have. Okay, then you have the layout folder. In that layout folder you have activity.main.xml. This is your, it will take some time, this is your front end file. Okay, so you have the most important files in this whole folder, or in this whole thing, is these two files. The first one is, you don't require this XML file. This contains all the things that are obviously that are required. So let's suppose allow backup. Yes, you are allowing backup. You are creating this thing that it supports the languages, this the things that I'm highlighting, it supports the languages which are from left to right. Okay, the label, the name of the application is there. So you have which launcher, which icon you are using. So you have, you know, that the green icon, that the green that demo thing that you have on your Android. So all of these things, the whatever are there in, will be present in this XML file. Okay. Okay, so obviously your package name is also there, right? You see com.example.myApplication. Okay, there's, you see the activity, the main activity file. So the most important files are these activity, main.activity and main.xml. So you see this this is the, I was talking about the real time overview I was talking about. You see, let me zoom it a little bit. So this is how, whatever we have, this is the hello first fragment that we have over here, right? So this is the predefined thing that we have already, and this is how your app will look like. Obviously we need to download the emulator as well, so that will be also covered. Okay, so now this is the what are the two important files in this? So this is, these are the two important files. So this is your backend file. We'll change it, we will change it, or you have right now, you have these options over here. We'll change it and we'll create it from the scratch. Okay, we try to do it in this session, but if we not, we will create a soon, we'll create a video, and it will be a full Android application step-by-step guide. Obviously I have guided you this way. It will be for 1 hour, Nikita. Okay, so this is your front end file. Okay, so now let me just quickly cover rest of the things as well. Okay, okay, so the project, in that you have the manifest file, and then you have Java file, and then you have resource file. So in your this you have activity.main.java, and in this you have your this is the backend file that you have, and this is your backend. Let me just write it again. So you have activity.main, and in this this is your backend file, whatever you do, and this will be your front end, the user experience, the UI, whatever you are creating, buttons and all those fancy stuff that you want to do. You can create it in, there's a folder in which you have this drawable, and in that drawable you have activity.main. Okay, that is your front end and .xml. Okay, cool. So this is how your project looks like. Now the user interface, whatever what are the things that that you can see on your ID. You can see a toolbar. Now what is this toolbar? So basically, let me just put it on this, 1 second. So this is the toolbar. So this is the toolbar, right? This is your toolbar, which contains all the things. Okay, so the next thing that you see over here, this is your, what is this? And you see the next thing that is there, I'm highlighting these things, guys. So you see, this is your status bar, which checks the status. Is the Gradle build done, or do you have your emulator ready? All the status that is related to your application will be in here. Okay, now you see this thing over here. From this side you have resource manager, you have project, you have build variable, you have favorites, you have Gradle over from this side. So all of this window is known as your this thing. Let me just quickly show you. So this is your toolbar I was talking about. Then you have that tool window bar, that the whole bar that was on this side, and on that side, brown down side. So you have here, you have the status bar. This is your window bar, right? So a tool window bar, this is your tool window bar on this side and on this side. Then you have the first toolbar over here, right? And over here the next thing that you have is your navigation bar. Okay, and then you have the editor window, wherein you are going to edit your, wherever you see the code that you codes on. I just installed and I saw the live stream randomly. Okay, so this is where your editor code, whatever you are trying to code will be in this panel. Okay, so let me just quickly show you again. So let me just the code, you can split it, you can you can see the view of code as well as this review. Whatever you're doing, you can have the code as well. So this is your editor window. Okay, this whole thing. This is your toolbar that you saw. This is your navigation bar, which contains the navigation folders. It contains source, main, res file, layout, all those things, right? Which you can see over here as well. Okay, so then you have this emulator. We'll see how to set up if we have time, and then you can run your application over here. So I will let me just run it. We haven't created anything, but since I have the emulator already in place, that is the virtual device I have already in place, so I can run it. Okay, so if you see over here, let me just scroll down and let me just show you one thing. You see, okay, one second. uh, yeah, you see that, you see over here in the status bar, executing tasks, debug, project, username, Android Studio, moments ago, Gradle, Brill, running. So this is, you need to wait until this status bar is 100%, right, over here. And this is your this thing, the status bar that I was talking about in the end, the status bar. Okay, so therein you have all those things. Okay, so this is your status bar, this is your toolbar, this is your navigation bar, this is your editor window where you can see the code, and then you have this panel on the left hand side and on the right hand side. Let me just show you in the editor as well. This is your tool window bar. Okay, one second. You see here you have your Android phone, since because as I have already that emulator in place. Okay, so you see these things, right? Resource manager, structure, build variables. So all of these things are your that tool window bar. And what about those things? What about the these things, tool windows? So the tool windows are nothing but okay, it is giving us it is already it has already started hanging. Okay, so it is a big yeah. Okay, okay. Yes, this is the first class. Yes. Okay. Okay, so you already see that it is starting to you can say that it is starting to act weirdly. So these are your windows. Okay, tool windows. Okay, so this is whatever, when I clicked on this is the tool window that I got. This is the, when I clicked on structure, this is the tool window I got. When I just scroll it a little bit up, let me just try that thing. So let me just minimize everything. Let me just close these files as well. Let me just show you the project structure. We have this thing over here. Let's see the build variables. So all of these things, you see the window here that I'm pointing to, and this window and the Gradle window. So these are all your what? These tool windows. Okay, on the toolbar, just clicking on that, you see that these are the tool windows. Okay, so you have this Android, and it is still in the running phase. It's not yet up and running. So you can obviously can change these things as well. So now this is your, let me just minimize it for now. Okay, so this is your user interface. Now the next step is the virtual device, how you can do it. So I have included the steps so it is easy for you to navigate through these steps. Okay, so basically how you can do it, you just go into your Android Studio. Here you see Pixel 3a, that is what is going on in the background. So you see that phone, that is Pixel 3a. So you just click on this, you see a open AVD manager. So in your case it will be showing no devices, since you haven't run you don't have any emulator as such right now, so it will be showing no devices. So I'll show you in the image as well, something like this. Okay, one second. Yeah, so once you click on that AVD manager, that is nothing but Android virtual device manager. So you always have two options to run your applications. One is directly connecting your USB to your phone, and another is this creating a virtual device. In this you see that this is written Pixel A, that I was already talking about. So this means that you have already one emulator in place. One if you want to create another, you just click on this create virtual device. Okay, so click on next. The next step is that it will start installing all those components. So let me just quickly show you. Yeah, so where is our, I just clicked on it, right? Okay, cool, I'll click on it again. Okay, let's start it. Open AVDA manager. So you just click. I have two these already in place. Okay, so click on create a virtual device. Okay, you see it has already started hanging. Okay, so now you select the hardware, which device do you want. Pixel 3a, which I have already selected. So these are all the this is the size associated with it, the resolution, the density. Okay, so these are all on the Play Store as well. Okay, so you click on this. Okay, I will click something which is already there. Okay, so you click once you have clicked on this, then it will ask, then you click on next, then you say download this R, Q, Pi, Oreo, Nougat. Okay, so you can pick any one of them and start downloading it. Right, so once the download is complete, you click on next. Okay, then it will ask you to verify your configuration. If you want to change the name of your device, you can, and you can change the name of the device. Okay, so you have these two orientations, landscape and portrait. Then obviously you can change these things as well, the Pixel 3 which we earlier downloaded, and the Nougat which we downloaded as well. Okay, so then finally click on finish and you are done with the emulator. Okay, it will create a virtual device. We named it Pixel, so you can see that thing in this bar as well. So it will take a little bit of time to create, and in the end it will be something which will be present here. Okay, so let me just minimize it. Okay, a lot of stuff is going on. So is our phone opened? So our phone is, yes, you see, this is how your application looks like. Now you see how much time did it take to just now open it. So it's a huge application. You see the name, our name, which we wrote when we were configuring our project. The name of our application is already there, my application, and this is something which is predefined, which is already there. Hello, first fragment, then next, then you see the mail over here. Okay, so let me just close this thing. You see, I have already closed it, but it is still taking a lot of time. Okay, so don't worry about it, it will take time. So that is why you need to check those system configurations very diligently. Okay, be specific about what system configuration do you have and what you are downloading. Okay, that is very important, else it will just start acting weirdly. Okay, it will act weirdly. Okay, so let's close this thing. Okay, okay, cool. So now once you have that, once you are done with that thing, right, the emulate. Okay, I'm trying to close it. Okay. Okay, so now it is already installing, right? So you see that installation, it will be, in your case, since you haven't installed, you will get this message, install components. Okay, component installer message will be there, and then you click on next. Then this is the configuration which we already talked about. Okay, all right, so cool, and which you will be able to see over here, right? So these are all the you see Pixel that we just created it, Pixel, like available devices. So right now we have selected this, the available devices are Pixel, which we just created, wherein we changed the name, and Pixel API 24. Okay, so those will be here as well. Okay, so this is it, this is it from this session, guys. So I hope you enjoyed this session, and I hope you have a little bit of overview how to download, how to install your Android Studio, what are the different components in it, what are the different, how you can use these emulators. And now, and maybe in the next session we'll try to cover some more things, or maybe we can add some more things. We will talk about more of these things, right? So whatever, how do we navigate, what are these window toolbars, right? We'll talk about those things in depth as well. Okay, cool. So I can use iPhone in case of AVD. Yes, Pratik, you can use it. Okay, all right, thank you so much, guys. I hope you enjoyed this session, and I'll see you in the next. All right, guys, if you have any questions, you can post it in the chat, else I will be concluding this session. Okay.